A little more Manny Machado news. The other day, he actually was the first violator of the pitch clock. So he wasn't in the box, ready to go, looking at the pitcher with 8 seconds left. So I guess this is all an umpire discretion thing, right? Like the batter might be in the box thinking he's ready to go, but the umpire will say, you're not engaged, you're not looking at the pitcher. But that was the first violation, the first automatic strike given out. Then yesterday, we had something that generated a lot more controversy. Game ended because of a pitch clock violation. Strike three called, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, Braves, and it's over.
It was a full count too, wasn't it? It was 3-2.
Didn't even have to throw the pitch. It's over. Now it's spring training, so games can end in a tie. But it seems like this could be telling us that a game at some point in the regular season is going to end on a pitch clock violation. And now the pitch clock has gone from a rule that it felt like most people were on board with to all of a sudden it's very divisive. So what do you guys think? What are your immediate thoughts after the first 2-3 days of watching the pitch clock in action?
I think it's quite obvious that pitch clock is having an effect on the time that games are lasting. It's definitely speeding up the pace of the game. I just think that it might be smart to maybe remove pitch clock after like the 8th or 9th inning, or even going into extra innings. Like I just don't see a need for that. And especially in those big moments, like you said, with like the bases loaded and bottom of the ninth, final out. I just think those moments are too big to have like pitch clock ruining potential greatness. Like it's not worth it.
I think one rule that I saw was being floated around that I was really interested by is treating a pitch clock violation like a foul ball. So you can't get out by a pitch clock violation. And also, I suppose it would work the other way around too, where a pitcher can't give up a walk on a pitch clock violation. I think that makes sense. But
then at every point though, like there's no incentive to speed up at the end of the at bat. So like, because then you can just abuse it.
Yeah, that's very true. But I mean, we're already seeing the game time decline to like an average of like 2 hours and 30 minutes. And spring training games tend to last longer than regular season games anyway, because there's so many substitutions that I feel like with a little bit of extra time, it's not going to ruin it too much. Like, obviously, I'm a big fan of the pitch clock because, like, I like my baseball, but I don't want to be sitting there when nothing is going on. So, like, I enjoy the faster paced games, but I'd be willing to give a little bit of extra time in there just to make sure a game doesn't end with a pitch clock violation, because that's just not really in the spirit of the game.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like, I think a lot of people would say that we're changing baseball too much, but I think the pitch clock is more bringing us back to the way baseball used to be. Like baseball games used to go really fast and pitchers were quick workers and, everyone wanted to get out of the ballpark in well under 3 hours. And we've seen the average game time creep up significantly, right? We were running about 230, 235 in the 70s. And then by 2000, it was 250. And then by 2010, it was over 3 hours. And last year you had average game time, 3 hours, 10 minutes, 3 hours, 15 minutes. It's getting too long. And so I think this is great that it's going to limit game time. I think you're going to have increased viewership and you're going to have more viewer retention. You're going to have more engaged viewers. All of that is good. I think what the pitch clock does that I love so much is it decreases downtime as well. So you're not removing the good parts of the game. You're just removing the parts that nobody wants and cramming the action in closer. I think you could end up with more offense too, because pitchers aren't going to be able to go max effort on every single delivery, which like, hey, I'm all for more offense, more balls in play, more contact. I think batters are going to swing more because pitchers might make a few more mistakes. You're not just going to be able to sit there and shake off your catcher 8 times looking for the perfect pitch that you both want. So I think those are all really good things, but I agree. I also don't want it to determine a game. And the last thing I want to see is my team or anyone else's team get absolutely screwed over because some overzealous umpire makes a pitch clock call, because that's totally up to their discretion too. The rules are a little vague, so they probably could use a little bit more fleshing out, especially like the looking at the pitcher thing. I don't know. I think both feet in the batter's box is fine. That's much more concrete. We can actually challenge that or call that correctly. But I really like the pitch clock as it's like currently constructed as well. I saw a video that had a lot of attention on Twitter, but basically they had like overlaid the entire Kentucky Derby like behind an MLB broadcast, and it all fit between 2 pitches. And as a Cardinals fan, I've been watching Gallegos and Hudson, who are some of MLB's slowest workers for years, and it is painful. So I'm all for Gallegos having to only get 15 seconds between each pitch because it's absolutely painful. So yeah, kind of a hot take, but I like it the way it is. And I want to see us try it for a whole year. The other thing is, I don't really think we're going to have that many controversies later on because I think people are going to adjust and it's just going to be the way the game works.
Dakota Hudson actually had a pitch clock violation in the spring training game today. It was the
Not
first pitch. He had a violation, automatic ball.
Not surprised at all. He's so slow.
I'm excited to see Gallegos in action. We need to see him with pitch clock.
I agree. When is he going to leave for the World Baseball Classic?
I don't know, but the World Baseball Classic doesn't have the pitch clock. It's not going to have any of those new rules. So I'm a little bit concerned because he's going to be off with Team Mexico. Maybe they'll get eliminated in the group stage and then we won't have to worry about that. But they're in USA's group. So I don't know. Could happen.
Yeah, we're going to need to knock him out. Sorry, Gio.